That's come up well, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's come up really well.
I can't believe.
What do you think?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic.
It took some work, I must admit. Yeah, there were very uneven blocks around that area.
Yeah.
But you know, it did come up well. So I was quite happy with how it went.
Yeah, we certainly are.
Oh, good. Hello, I'm Warren from Timbers Flooring. So today we've got a pine parquet floor. As you can see here, it's quite bad condition. Half of the floor has been relaid by someone, so all the blocks have come up and they've put them all back down again, and they're very uneven. And this half you can see right now is not too bad, it's quite flat. So that made a big difference. It was me, my ugly mug, showing you the differences in the heights of the boards. So yeah, I started on a 40 grit right in the corner there, and then I soon realised that when I got to the uneven parts that wasn't enough, so I went with a 24 grit, going the wrong ways on the board, and then back onto a 40, and then went over the whole floor again with that. Then I went on to the edges. It started with I think it was a 40 grit I did on the edges. Some of it was quite straightforward, but other bits were uneven. A lot of floors are like this with black bitumen. This floor actually had quite a lot of sticky tape around the edge, which really gunked up, but it soon come off. You just had to spend a little bit more time on it. But you can see the vast improvement straight away with the 40 grit discs of the corners there. I like doing parquet floors. They're one of the most satisfying floors to deal with. And, you know, if anyone wants a parquet floor laid nowadays, you'd be paying thousands for it to be done, especially in solid oak. But, very lucky to have these floors there. You can see I'm just working my way all the way around the room now. This is the very tricky part now, very uneven blocks just here. You see I take my time and try and get all the blocks level with the edge of here, which the main machine cannot reach. And this is the same process if you're hiring a sander. The hire sanders may not be as good, but they will still do the same thing. It's just they won't be quite as robust, and the sandpaper you have probably won't be quite as good as what I'm using here. So I do advise, if you can have a choice of sandpapers, get the more expensive one, because it really does make your life a lot easier. So we're using a file sander now to get right into the corners. A lot of people skip this step and don't bother with the file sanding, but this really does finish off the floor and make it look like you've done a proper job on the floor. So now we're on to a 60 grit over the whole floor. Takes some time. I had to go backwards and forwards over a few bits to get the sanding grits out from the 24 grit. If you do use a 24, you do have to make sure with the next grade grits after the 24 that you get the sanding marks out, because it is very harsh at 24 grit. But it's really coming together now. You can see that floor in the background there. It's really starting to pop. Now back onto the edges. I think we're doing a 60 grit here. It might have been an 80 to be fair. Bit of time was spent with the edges here, because again, you don't want the sanding grits, sanding marks to show up. So time spent on the edges here is well worth it, because if you can get the sanding marks out, then you definitely won't see them when you come to oil. or lacquer. So now we're on 100 grit. I finished on 100 grit on this just purely because I started with a 24 grit, so I wanted to finish on a bit of a higher grade just to make sure I am getting all the scratches out. A lot of people finish on a 120, and it's fine to finish on a 120 or a 100, it doesn't matter, because you'll be doing a fine sand in between coats, so it really doesn't matter. It's just because I used a 24 grit right from the start is why I finished on 100. I didn't want a too big a jump in grits. So this floor took me to do all the main sanding and one coat of oil. Took me around about 5.5 hours to do the whole thing. And this floor is about a 6x5 square metre room. And then, so that's all the sanding done now. So now I'm just doing a very thorough vacuum. Make sure we get up all the grit and dust and everything before we oil. These people didn't want a full fill. I do offer a full fill, but it's a church floor, this one, and prices are very tight, so cost is tight for them, so they said don't do a full fill. Probably could have done with it, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be done. It just makes the floor look even better if you do a full fill, but they didn't want a full fill in this. So I'm starting to put the hardwax oil on here. The GoPro does shut off in a minute, so it only shows me doing half the floor, but you get the gist of it. And there's the first coat picture there. This is a Morrells hardwax oil, Morrells XLO 10% sheen. I do like the Morrells stuff. It's very cost effective for the finish you get. I think the finish you get is very good, and the price is also very good for what it is. So I do like it. I'm not going to say it's the best out there, but it's certainly a very good product, which I do use quite a lot for a lot of my projects, and I do recommend it as well. As you can see now I've just done the light sand with the buffer machine there, and that's just with a mesh grit, and that's just to get rid of the hairs on the wood. So there's the Morrells tin, if anyone's interested in what I've been using on the floor there. And then we're putting on the second coat of hardwax oil. So this is a paint pad and roller. It's a little bit more thorough with the second coat, making sure there's no drips at all. This is the final coat, this is the finishing coat. So yeah, this is a 10% sheen, so it just leaves a very slight sheen, nothing much at all. So just a very natural feel to the floor, a very silky sort of look. I do like the 10%, it's one of my favourite sheen levels, I think. And it's becoming a lot more popular nowadays as well. And you see it's really popping now, the floor. I do love my work. I love to see the end product. It's what keeps me going. It is hard work, really hard work, but it is satisfying, and to get the customer's approval is always good. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's been helpful for you, a little walkthrough, and this is what you can achieve. If you could like, subscribe to my channel, and share, comment if you got any questions. And I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out.